I'm hunting a moose. Don't ask why, I don't really remember the exact reason, though it was probably a good one. The decision was made to be merciful by using an arrow instead of a bullet to finish it off. As it went down and I was admiring my handiwork, it just fell asleep right in front of me. Quite agitated by this point, I just started digging into the carcass to harvest its parts. By the time I was finished, an odd feeling was settling into my organs and a splitting headache was quite prominent. By the time it went away and I regained my boundaries, I realized I was the dollar store version of the moose I just harvested. Where the hell are my antlers? I'm more upset by that than anything. Come on, if you read a headline that said something along the lines of Florida man eats newly discovered mysterious plant only to turn into a moose, that you wouldn't believe it? I don't think so. Nevertheless, being a moose is only kind of awesome for the first 10 minutes or so. After that, it loses its luster. I found these fine gentlemen and attempted to explain my situation to them, but seeing as though I am currently not a Homo sapien, they did quite naughty things and put some bullets into my meat. It was quite upsetting, but I did turn back into a human. Such an odd experience, but at least I'm back to my batshit crazy self. Thinking not much of it, I continued on with my escapades. I was getting a little hungry, so I decided to stop for a meal. Of course, my dinner had 4 legs and just wanted to be left alone, but I'm hungry and that takes priority over the life of a pixelated jackrabbit. I'm sure PETA will be knocking on my door in a few days, but those guys, honestly. As I was skinning the life away of my snack here, the same odd sensation from earlier took precedent once more. The same headache and butterflies in my stomach was present, and before long, I realized I turned into said jackrabbit I just maimed. This was a lot more scary than last time as I didn't have adequate size, but at least people consider rabbits cute. So perhaps running to the nearest town looking for help could work. There's probably something poetic about a rabbit running on train tracks searching for answers, but I'm no William Shakespeare. I know I cannot create 1,700 words in my lifetime. I probably would have a hard time explaining the definition of 1,700 different words. Oddly enough, I can explain what defenestration means, which is the act of throwing somebody out of a window. Don't ask why I know that. Some things are just better left unanswered. I entered Ansburg looking for some help, and the game crashed. I'm just trying to tell a story here, and the game decides that I need to get blue-balled. No matter, simply reloading the game fixes all of my problems. Nobody in town seemed to pay me any mind as I attempt to pour my heart out to them about how I'm stuck as a fucking jackrabbit. Fed up after many minutes of ignorance, the train seemed like a good place as any to take a rest for a bit. As I attempt to hop into the conductor's seat, I flipped over sideways looking to possibly meet Jesus himself, only for rejection to hit faster than a freight train, and I was executed. About the only good news was that I was back to my regular human self again, but some ideas were cooking in my head. Both times I've changed, it was the result of skinning a helpless animal. For turning back, all I had to do was deplete my health bar to 0 and I was normal again. I decided to test my theory one more time by heading over to the Florida Everglades to find something a bit more dastardly than a simple bunny. After having an aneurysm trying to force my horse through this tree, I stumbled upon a swamp puppy just chilling around and getting his daily vitamin C. He either didn't see me, didn't care, or was waiting for the perfect opportunity to nab that snowy egret over there. I didn't really want to hurt him, so I shoved a bullet just below his eyeball. Knowing the routine by now, I skinned him up proper, got him nice and naked, took his head, got the funny feeling again, and I was officially a swamp puppy. I felt kinda bad since I took its life purely for educational purposes, so I took a moment to press F to pay my respects. Another guy nearby looked to be having challenges with his internal organs, so I made sure to protect him while he figured out his situation. Also, look at the way I move my little legs. Isn't that adorable? It turns out I still have a telepathic communication with my horse, and she allowed me to take a ride. Because life is funny, when I hopped on, it looked less like a horse was carrying an alligator, and more like the horse just grew an extra long tail on her behind. It made for an interesting sight. St. Denis was nearby, so I decided to conduct a little experiment to see how privileged city folk react to an outside monster. Stares were thrown my way virtually everywhere I went, but nobody called the cops on me for simply existing, so I consider that an absolute win. While strutting my stuff, I locked eyes with the trolley moving through the streets, and I knew exactly what needed to be done. Hauling ass as much as a gator can, I quickly marched up to the trolley to take a joyride. Because when was the last or the next time you'll see a gator having a fun time taking a joyride around the big city? Apparently animals have to crawl into the train like Spider-Man just to enter the passageway. I quickly got denied, however. This is discrimination against gators everywhere, and now I have to get on to prove something. It got to the point where the conductor was trying to straight up run me over so he didn't have to deal with me anymore. I mean, Just look at them eyes. Would you deny entry to this sweet little face? By this point, causing a ruckus was a surefire way to stop the trolley, as enough chaos would surely send the big man running. It was nightfall now, and I haven't made any headway. Perhaps I should just go jump off a cliff and try another— oh hey, there's a parked trolley over there. With some hesitation, I spider crawl up the trolley, and sweet, sweet victory was bestowed upon me. I felt pride in finally achieving my dreams. I bled, sweated, and cried for this, and I never gave up. All I had to do was get to the non-gator section. The only problem here was the fact that the trolley wasn't actually moving. I took a look around and noticed a blockade up ahead. Turns out there was another trolley parked up front with nobody to drive it. He hung a sign up that said, "Be back in 15 minutes, if not, read sign again." All my hard work was flushed down the drain, and I just started a rampage against the citizens of St. Denis for not only living in a city with a false name, but also just because they were around. The cops ended up killing the swamp puppy. In my previous video, I mentioned this. This ain't over though. The Butcher of Blackwater will return. And today is the day. I needed something big, strong, and fast, and, well, there ain't too many other animals bigger or stronger than a bison, at least within the confines of the playable area. Luckily for me, I had the illusion of choice here. Many bison were just hanging around, but at the end of the day, regardless of which I stake my claim to, they're still just bison. I did my thing, gave the behemoth a proper cut-up, a perfect pet was mine, and an event that breaks the laws of reality transpired once more. I did try fitting in as one of them just to see if anyone would notice. Turns out nobody actually gave a damn as to whether or not I was there. I didn't even get a hello from anybody. It's just a repeat of 7th grade, I guess. It was a treacherous journey to Blackwater, mostly because the distance between any bison spawn and the town felt like 30 million miles apart, but we made it. I wanted to say hello to these gentlemen in this building, but they somehow managed to put up an invisible barrier made exclusively for my kind, and that just felt bad. So I wasted no time running roughshod on the citizens of this god-awful town. A stampeding bison terrorizing people was sure to make this guy's newspaper, provided he survived the horrendous hospital bill, because American healthcare has always and will forever suck booty cheeks. This right here is just animal cruelty. First, these people slaughtered my horse, and now they are beating up an innocent bison bare-knuckle style for just trying to discover how people function under duress. I suppose in their minds you can't bring a chainsaw to a football game and expect anyone to like you, only I'm the chainsaw here. We both create lots of destruction, so I suppose I can see the analogy here. In the end, I lost because guns 99% of the time beat out animals at range, so that's 2 animals now this town has taken away from me. Okay, Deal will remember that. While making my way downtown, riding fast, I heard a call for help from some guy in the forest. How he got into a scuffle with a threatening pupper, I'll never know, but I'm still trying to get good boy points, so I chased after the wolf so he would never hurt anyone again. I tried giving him a health cure because that seemed like a good idea at the time, but he straight up smacked it out of my hand in defiance. I felt defended that my kind gesture was so rudely discarded, so I made sure to let him know how my heart was feeling. I even made sure to shoot him in the boing-loings a few times just for good measure. Now I feel bad for meddling in this situation in the first place. I suppose I've always wanted to see what being a wolf was like, but frankly this one is inadequate with its poor pelt quality, and I can think of a much better hunt not too terribly far from here. It was your typical legendary animal hunt. I don't think it took me even a full minute to find what I was looking for. Outside of being able to take some rifle shots directly to the dome, I'm not sure what constitutes this particular wolf as legendary, but whatever. It's quite liberating being able to travel on 4 legs on your own, but I will say I definitely miss my thumbs. I attempted to make friends with the local wildlife around Le Gras, but was sadly met with resistance and everybody running away. If I truly wanted to experience people screaming as they run for their life from me, I'd just head to a Montana Walmart and stand around with a sign that says something on it, or just relive 6th grade. Yeah, middle school wasn't great for me. The chickens wanted nothing to do with me, the boars scattered like roaches, even the alligators all ran away in terror, and don't get me started on the humans simply pretending I don't exist. What's a man's best friend if he doesn't have a best friend? I even tried blending in with the fish in the little pond, but like all the others, they just swam away. Let's just say the end result of this adventure I really don't desire to show. It's quite sad. It was the boars themselves that hurt my feelings more than any other beforehand, so now I'm hunting their boss. When I got wind of a legendary boar roaming around, this isn't exactly what I had in mind. Sure, he was slightly bigger than the others, but I wouldn't exactly call this the cream of the crop. Regardless, I washed it and skinned it, and either I killed a baby animal or I got put on the juice real quick. I am larger than my horse. Yeah. One fun fact about boars that you all should know that I totally didn't make up just now is that they like train rides, and if given the chance, the little piggy will cry wee 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 all the way home. Also, the smell of this smokestack was oddly satisfying. I'm not sure what kind of exercise my horse has been getting, but my god, he's a big, strong boy. There was this tent around Valentine that was going to be playing a little show, and I was really hoping to buy a ticket and watch. Unfortunately, the ticket taker here denied me access, refusing to elaborate. It's shit like this that makes me question why us humans haven't gone extinct yet, because life's simple pleasures can't even be granted to paying customers no more. I may have went on a little rampage to the town as a result. While stumbling through Emerald Ranch, I noticed a couple of lads looking like they just made the worst mistake of their lives by locking in an angry Brock Lesnar in this barn. Arthur Morgan, being the fearless Chad that he is, offered to tame the beast. After looting for the assorted biscuits and following the trail of death left behind, we came across an actual lion. He actually slit my throat before I could get the correct weapon out, and now I'm wondering what happened should the lion here skin the video game protagonist. All I could take from the lion was a mere claw, but I guess it was enough to transform me. Do not ask what the hell happened here, I honestly have no clue. But I experienced this horror, so you all must as well. This shot of riding on my horse is more kinds of wrong than when I was doing it as a boar for some reason. I wanted to see if I could rob the Valentine Bank as a lion, but simply the act of doing virtually anything outside of running just did not work. I was left disappointed, but I suppose not all mods can work harmoniously with each other. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving it a like, or if you hated it, leave it a dislike. And if you haven't already, and you like what you see on the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. It helps me out a ton. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters for making videos like this one possible. Have a good one. Peace out.